Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir,
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
It's easy to find flooring online, but imagining those floors on your floor, a bit trickier. So Lumber Liquidators made Picture It, which adds our floors to a photo of your space. Just point, snap, and choose a floor. It's great if you're looking for new floors. Also, still fun if you're not. Try Picture It, only at llflooring.com. These are the floors homes are built on. Get free samples of your favorite floors sent to your home. Visit llflooring.com to order today.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Our business needs vans, lots of vans, and Europcar meets our day-to-day needs all across the country, providing our company with the ideal selection of small, medium or large vans and trucks, and even bespoke commercial vehicles delivered directly to our premises.
From our 22 nationwide locations, Europcar supplies Irish businesses with an unrivaled range of vans, 4x4 pickups, 4-seater commercial SUVs, and double cab tippers. With 9,000 vehicles in our fleet, there's no demand we can't fulfill. Europcar, moving your way.
SuperValue online shopping delivers convenience. And now with €15 off your first online shop over €75, we deliver value too. Or with our free click and collect service, you can pick it up in store, packed and ready to go. Shop online now at supervalue.ie. It's got to be SuperValue.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Beer Nuts, a weekly excursion into the world of craft beer, brought to you by MichiganBeerGuide.com. And now, here are the Beer Nuts.
Welcome to Beer Nuts, number 138. I'm Chris. I am in the Ozarks down in Missouri, Lebanon, Missouri to be exact, and my last Untapped check-in was Vamos from Boulevard Brewing. Now, further west, we go to L.A.
Hello, everybody. It's Steve B. from LA. My last check-in was from Victoria. Grupo Modelo was a lager.
We went moving a little further east, down on the southern border in Sierra Vista, Arizona. JR here. Our last Untapped check-in was French Porter Temptress from Lakewood Brewing Company out of Texas. It's a nice imperial milk stout that I thoroughly enjoyed. Back to Michigan.
All right, so I'm the furthest east that we can go here. So this is Greg in Dearborn, Michigan, and my last check-in from Untapped was Southern Tier Brewing Company's Nitro S'mores, which is self-explanatory. S'mores beer on stout with Nitro. It was delicious.
All right, everybody. Well, this is going to be an interesting episode, one that Christopher, in particular, has been pushing for some time. It is about that time of year where it's warming up, at least here in Arizona it is. I don't know about Michigan, maybe a few weeks off. Kind of a late start to the summer out there. But
yeah, when I left, it was 44 degrees and raining.
Hey, it was 74 degrees and sunny today. We'll take it.
Well, nobody knows more about mowing the lawn than Greg, who works on golf course.
That's true.
As golf course maintenance. So this we'll dedicate this episode to Greg, even though it's Chris really was excited about doing it. And is the infamous lawnmower idea. It is your idea, so
I'll give it to Chris, though.
To you two. So Greg for mowing the grass and Chris for drinking the lawnmower beers while somebody else mows. So anyway, lawnmower beers. Everybody has that famous, quaffable, drinkable beer that they love on a hot day. You know, you're not going to typically, unless you're Russ from Durham. You're not going to typically probably open a 10% Imperial Stout after mowing the lawn. You want a nice thirst quencher. So that's what lawnmower beers are about. So we're going to tell you about some of our favorite lawnmower beers. But before we do that, we want to invite everybody to pop open a cold one. Join us if you can, unless you're driving, of course. And kick back and let's just introduce more good people to more good beer, which is the show's mantra. So without further ado, we're going to start out on the West Coast with Steve in Los Angeles. Tell us about your lawnmower beer.
So my lawnmower beer comes out of Texas, Austin, Texas, to be specific. I had some family members out from Texas, and they were kind enough to bring me some beer when they came out. This is from Independence Brewing Company. It's a seasonal beer that they do, ironically, for the summer. And it's their Red Bud with cucumbers. And it's a Berliner Weiss style beer. On the can, it says, inspired by the traditionally tart and lemony German summer beer. And it's 4.9%. They use on the hops, it says on the description, Columbus Amarillo. The malts, they use white wheat Pilsen, oats flake barley. And the yeast, they use a kettle soured lactobacillus. When I poured it, and you smell it, right away you smell the, when I first poured it, you just smell the lemon coming from it, but as it's been sitting in my glass, getting ready to drink, the cucumber starts coming out, the little freshness of the cucumber. It pours out like really golden color, clear pretty much throughout. It had a decent head when I poured it. Oh, it's very, like I said, very refreshing. You get that tartness from the lemon, but you also get the cucumber that really adds a nice little flavor to it. Yeah, it's really tasty, kind of like a lemony soda, but not so sweet. Like I said, that cucumber adds a really good flavor to it. One of their on their site, one of the descriptions, they say it'd be a good mix to use as far as in a michelada. So I can see adding all the ingredients and stuff, and that'll work really well with some spices and all the other ingredients that you pour in it. That'd be a great taste. It's really good.
Cucumber seems to be the hot new flavor. I mean, they're making like a cucumber Gatorade now. So
next to lime too. That's the other one.
But it's a refreshing flavor. I mean, can anyone say they don't like a glass of cucumber water? So why not put it in the beer?
Sure.
They've put weirder shit in beer. Just saying. That's what I've learned in a few years of doing this podcast.
To be honest, yeah, absolutely.
Well, yep, I would agree. I know there was a speciation beer that had cucumber. I think it was Common Descent with cucumber and lime that was delicious. So, keep an open mind. Cucumber's not a flavor you would think of, but I've had a few good ones, and I didn't know what to expect, but it all comes down to if you're open to trying new things, and you might just find you like them. Yeah, and like I said, you come across some good ones, but then again, you also come across some bad ones that just don't really make it. But this one's really good. So if you're able to track down their seasonal beer, Independence here in Texas, in Austin area, and go to their tap room, I suggest it. Like I said, it's great for a summer. Great summer beer. Sounds good.
I think, Steve, at least in I've been over to Dallas and Lubbock, which is on the west side of the state of Texas. I've seen Independence, so this is something I definitely would be looking out for next time I'm in that great state of Texas, for sure. Great review.
Thank you.
All right. Let's slide a little bit to the east. Again, down here in the southern border. I have a beer that I've never tried before, but I've been looking for something for the show. I have an old standby that I'll review later in the show that's nothing spectacular. But this is an Arizona craft beer that I've heard good things about, so let's just, we'll find out together whether this is a winner or not. This is called Orange Blossom Papago Mandarin Wheat Beer. It's a 5% ABV, and it's from Huss Brewing in Tempe, Arizona, suburb of Phoenix, home of Arizona State University, the Sun Devils. So I'm told this is a great summer drinker, so here we go. It's in a 12-ounce can. I'm going to pour it. Here we go. So looks the part of a lawnmower beer. Maybe a little bit darker than your typical wheat beer, but clear as can be with a nice, healthy one-finger head. But clear as can be. Boy, nice job on that. It's hard to do that. Nice A little bit of effervescence, just some bubbles coming. Fortunately, I rinsed my glass, so I have a beer clean glass. So this looks fantastic, nice and opaque, but it's yellow. Got the little bit darker than straw, so a little bit darker, maybe a slightly golden color, but still more on the light side. Not really getting too much. Maybe just a little bit of tangerine or orange on the nose. Pretty benign, not a very strong aroma. So let's take a sip. Pretty tasty. I expected the orange right off the bat, and I actually get the vanilla first. There's a nice creamy vanilla sensation at the beginning, and then the orange hits you, and then it kind of just levels off. There's only 15 IBUs in this, so it's definitely got nice flavor to it. Let me try another sip. Always take about 3 sips to really determine what's going on here. Yep, I definitely get vanilla at first, then a little bit of the orange, and the aftertaste is probably 70% orange and 30% vanilla, but almost like a little creamsicle flavor. So I can see why this is a fan favorite in these parts. Craft beer is our passion. Get out and chase yours on the can. Not too much else to talk about. It just says uniquely Arizona. Got a nice Huss Brewing logo on there. It's the state of Arizona. The can's got an orange blossom Papago little logo with a little orange hop on it. So you got mandarin orange and vanilla and a nice easy drinking wheat base. It's actually, everything works quite well together here. So it's really refreshing. I'm pleasantly surprised. Really, really like how the vanilla and the orange go together, and it definitely has like it's a lighter bodied beer, but there's a little bit of creaminess to bring it all together. It's pretty impressive. It's exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect the vanilla to be as prominent as it is, which is a good thing. So it does suggest, I'll read from their website, it suggests serving this with an orange wedge. I could see doing that, but I think it's perfectly fine the way it is. And when you get out mowing the lawn, the last thing you want to do is cut up an orange. So I would just say open this and crush it. An Arizona icon since 2005, this light wheat ale starts out with hints of bright citrus and ends with creamy vanilla finish. Served tall with a fresh orange slice, orange blossom is the perfect relief from the Arizona heat, and it certainly is. So I got the vanilla first and the orange second. The review says it's the opposite, but both flavors are prominently there, and I'm pleasantly surprised vanilla actually has a pretty big role in this, and I love vanilla. So great beer. There was another beer that they produced as a coffee Kolsch that could possibly be a summer drinker. I believe I've already reviewed that on the show, but another winner from Huss Brewing. So these are readily available. I picked this up in the local chain grocery store at Safeway by my house, so easy to find these, and perfect for this episode of Lawnmower Beers.
So what you're saying, John, is next time I'm on a lawnmower or any kind of mower, I should be cutting an orange or peeling an orange? Is that right? You should
just be crushing a can of this with no orange.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I will say that the second beer I'll be tasting, I actually do enjoy it with a lime slice, but the same thing. If it's just ice cold on ice, fruit is optional. But this is a winner. I'd love to send you guys, maybe I'll send a 12-pack up, and you can just spread it around, because I could definitely see this is a beer I could drink 3 or 4 of without even thinking about it. It's only a 5%er, and it's crushable in every sense of the word, and really, really pleasant tasting with that orange creamsicle, vanilla orange flavor.
Sounds delicious.
I had a couple other options, and I'm glad I chose this one because definitely appealing. All right, that's it for me. I think, Christopher, the moment has finally arrived when you get to review a lawnmower beer. So
yes,
take it away.
Well, I've been waiting with bated breath. Yeah, I too picked a beer that I haven't tried just because, well, A, I'm out of town, but two, it's similar to when I first started drinking or dipping my toe in the craft beer pool, like a couple of years before I even met you guys. I started out with Leinenkugel, right? it's nice training wheel beginner craft beer. And I used to get shit at my band practices all the time. Hey, what's up, Mr. Fancy Beer? But I used to drink their Berry Weiss all the time, especially when I was mowing the lawn, because I mean it's quite simple. You could just pound it. All right, it's like fruit juice with a hint of hops. So I picked up from Boulevard Brewing in Kansas City. It's called Jam Band Berry Ale. It's made with blueberry, red raspberry, and cherry. You pour it, and you don't even have to put your nose in it. The fruit makes its way from the glass to your nose. But when you do put your nose in it, you're getting, I'd say, probably the cherries, more of the raspberries, and I mean, this beer is purple. It had a creamy, fizzy purple head, and it's hanging out. I mean, it's nice lacing on the glass here. And I've taken a couple of sips. I'm going to take another one. I mean, for being an ale, you're expecting it to have a little lighter, maybe mouthfeel, but it's almost maybe smack dab in the middle. It's almost medium feel here, and then the flavors. Man, the warmer this thing gets, the more I keep tasting things. Initially, I was just getting the raspberry on the front and then the cherry in the back, but the more I sip this thing, like the blueberry seems to be mixing in with all of it. This is really good. This is, and it's 5.9. It is 6 IBUs. So if you're looking for, if you're a bitter beer guy, this ain't the beer for you. But yeah, I mean, I could see myself drinking several of these while mowing the lawn. If you have access to Boulevard Brewing, check out Jam Bam Berry Ale. It may not be an everyday beer for you, but definitely this is nice. This is refreshing, and yeah, I could definitely. I'm glad I only got a couple of these because I got to get up early.
Well, that's another great thing about these beers is most of them are lower ABV. So if you do have something to do the next day, or if after mowing the lawn you got to go somewhere, this isn't going to bury you. Like some of the other beers, like some of our double and triple IPAs.
Definitely a breakfast for you, Chris.
And actually, this beer I just had with the orange and vanilla, that's definitely a mimosa substitute. But that sounds really good. And going back to your Leinenkugel story, I remember going to a Tigers game a few years ago with a buddy, and I got free tickets, and I invited him to come. And he's like, oh, no, he knew that I liked good beers, and he was just a Miller Lite drinker. And so he goes, let me get the first round of beers. And he disappeared, and he came back with the Leinenkugel grapefruit shandy, thinking that, I'll impress my buddy here likes craft beers, and I didn't want to insult him, so I'm like, oh, thanks, and I actually have to tell you, that was pretty darn good. On like an 85-degree day at Comerica Park watching the Tigers play. And we just sat, we had great seats along the third baseline, and we never left the center field party deck where they had those grapefruit shandies. We drank those all day. So at first I was like cringing when he brought these, and I'm like, well, I got to go suffer through one. But you know what? It was actually pretty good for a mass-produced faux craft, so to speak. So, keep an open mind. But you liken this one to Berry Weiss? Is this better or equivalent?
This is way better. This is Berry Weiss is thinner. This is there a little more quality put into this one. It sounds like I'm talking shit about Leinenkugel, but I mean it's a deep. One of the things I'll always say about a beer like Founders is you could tell that they use quality ingredients. That's what I'm getting off of this.
Right.
Like this is, there's, I guess his actual berries were used in the making of this. There aren't too many flavors added.
Right. No artificial flavors.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that one. That sounds really good too. Boy.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Bosch home appliances offer the easy way to perfect results. Our Bosch autopilot ovens with preset recipes make family favourites a perfect success every time. Upgrade to PyroClean for the ultimate convenience. Or the Bosch IDOS self-dosing washing machines. Save up to 38% on detergent with one fill for 20 washes. With Which award-winning products and reliable local service teams, it's no surprise Bosch is Europe's #1 major appliance brand. Check out the full Bosch range in-store or at euronics.ie.
There's no need to describe in detail every inch of the new Range Rover Evoque. With its unmistakable coupe-like silhouette, you'll recognise that quiet refinement when you see it. And with a new mild hybrid electric engine and intuitive technology, you have a car that handles superbly, both on-road and off. So if you're looking for a compact SUV that takes city driving above and beyond, look no further. New Range Rover Evoque from €42,845. Book your test drive today at Conlon's Land Rover Nace. Delivery and related charges apply. There's no need to describe in detail every inch of the new Range Rover Evoque. With its unmistakable coupe-like silhouette, you'll recognise that quiet refinement when you see it. And with a new mild hybrid electric engine and intuitive technology, you have a car that handles superbly, both on-road and off. So if you're looking for a compact SUV that takes city driving above and beyond, look no further. New Range Rover Evoque from €42,845. Book your test drive today at Conlon's Land Rover Nace. Delivery and related charges apply.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Let's see what Greg has up there in Michigan. Boy, it's pretty rare that we only have one Michigander on the show.
I know, right? So I'm honored to be representing the Mitten State here today. So my offering today I picked up at Merchant's Fine Wine here in Dearborn. This is from Midland Brewing Company out of Midland, Michigan. This is their Isle Royal Cream Ale, 4.2%, 12 IBUs. Let me read a little description here. Brewed in Midland, Michigan, this brew is our tribute to one of Michigan's greatest treasures, Isle Royal National Park. We hope the crisp, clean taste of this American cream ale transports you to the shores of Lake Superior, imbibes you outside. Just keep an outside for moose, or just keep an eye out for moose. Words. Let me speak here. All right, so poured here, completely clear, yellow, compact bubbles. Delicious looking. Nose. Nice sweetness to it. Not a lot going on here, but this is what we look for in Lawnmower Beers. Easy drinking and maybe a light flavor to it. So a nice sweetness to it. Let's take a taste out of it. Oh, more of that same. Very creamy. Great mouthfeel to it. Very sweet, very light, super refreshing. Now that it's starting to warm up here in Michigan after a really hellacious spring of wet and cold, this is really hitting the spot. I could see me hitting these quite a bit after a long day of work. Even just mowing my yard here at my house, this is a really delicious offering here from Midland Brewing, and I'm glad I picked it up from Merchants here. So, kudos to Chris Cook, who gave me a little pointer here to who to pick up here while we're looking for this episode. So this is good. So
please pass on my best to Chris Cook, one of the best in the business and one of the best beer shops back in the Detroit area. Highly recommend Merchants.
He certainly was looking to send his best regards out to you, John. Now that you moved out to Arizona, so. I definitely, next time I see him, I will do that.
Yes, please do. Again, one of the best in the business. But I also wanted to say I really liked the appearance of that beer. Even though you guys could only hear us, we can actually see each other. Don't worry, we're not going to threaten to do a video cast anytime soon if you need to see us. But it is nice when we're doing these episodes across the miles that we can hold up the glass and at least share the appearance with everybody. And that looks pretty good. Nice, a little bit of a deeper color to it. Versus that, real pale straw color that usually indicates very low taste, but not always. All right, well, now that we've each had a chance to sample the beer, we do have a little bit of hipster-tipster news. The big story in the craft beer world this week was the shocking announcement that Dogfish Head was being merged/absorbed into the Boston Beer Company portfolio. Sam Adams, Twisted Tea. I think they make a hard seltzer too. So it's pretty big news. Jim Cook, one of the pioneers of craft beer for Sam Adams, has done a lot for craft beer in general and is very highly regarded. And Sam Calgione from Dogfish Head, also one of the pioneers of craft beer. So two big names, I guess, got together. And just to give a little bit of my personal comments on it, I think it's a good thing for both portfolios. I know it's not always popular when companies get bigger and absorbed, but I think in the way the times are changing here, to battle the big macro big beer companies, I like what some of these smaller brewers have done by partnering. And in my view, this enables Dogfish Head and Sam Adams, to, I guess, enhance their arsenal to be competitive in the world we live in now, with shelf space becoming ever more valuable. When I was in Safeway today, I see Golden Road, I see Elysian, all these craft beer brands that Anheuser-Busch InBev has purchased, and they have a lot of power and a lot of clout to get these brands on the shelf. So shelf space has never been more competitive. It's a real battle. It's a real battle for like this Huss Brewing, like I bought for this episode, to even have a chance to be on the shelf now. So I think Dogfish Head and Sam Adams will help each other. They'll prop each other up. I think on the surface they call it a merger, but in reality it was really, I think, Boston Beer Company absorbing Dogfish Head into their portfolio. I don't know how the structure will be with employees. Hopefully not. Dogfish Head employees will still retain their positions. I don't know how that's, I think it's too early to tell how the structuring will be affected, but obviously there will be synergies for them to go to market as a team rather than as two separate companies. So I know there's been a lot of backlash by a lot of craft beer fans. Now they're a big company and big companies are disavowed, but it's a kind of a necessary evil to compete in today's world. And, when I was teaching the marketing class in the beer brewing program at Schoolcraft College in Livonia, I told all my students that wanted to open up a brewery, the best thing you can do now is try to be the local neighborhood brewery. There's just so much competition to be packaged on the shelves. And you're better off just being the small local neighborhood brew pub, and you can sell everything out your front door at maximum profit and not deal with distributors and not be in that war for the shelf space. So that's my take on it, and I'll open it up to others for your comments.
I just found out before the show, and it blew me away.
Well, I love what Dogfish Head does. They push the boundaries. They do different things. Sam Adams is more of a traditionalist. They started with a lager. They've kind of reluctantly waded into the IPA pool. I know that Jim Cook was staunchly opposed to being, releasing all the hoppy IPAs, but they did a very good job with their New England IPA for a mass-produced option. I actually gave it a pretty decent mark for a mass-produced canned New England IPA. I thought that was pretty good. So, hopefully, Dogfish Head continues. Hopefully, they continue to retain the brewers and retain the creativity of that brewery, because I'm a real big fan of them. It's too bad Russ isn't on the show to talk about this, because he has his family's from Delaware, and he is regularly visits the brewery in Delaware. But I have always been a big fan of Dogfish Head. Maybe not so much of Sam Adams. I respect Sam Adams. Some of the stuff that they've done with their 750s have been really good. And when you're in the airport and that's all there is a Boston Lager, it's really a pretty solid beer, if a go-to. So we'll see what happens. Greg, what do you?
Sam Adams is always one of my any port in a storm beers. When in situations like here, when there's 2 or 3 taps, not a lot of selection. If a Sam Adams is there, I'm in.
Yeah, and I will add this. Probably a great beer that we could have had in this episode is the Cherry Wheat. Sam Adams Cherry Wheat. I can remember when my kids played ice hockey in the little bar in the ice rink, had Cherry Wheat on tap, and I would crush those. I mean, it's great tasting beer, low ABV, and you can drink 2 or 3 of them to drive the kids home from their practice. I mean, so they do some good things. So let's see how it pans out. Anybody else have anything to add?
Well, it's hard to say that I'm surprised by any merger anymore these days, because that seems to be the thing for any brewer now to survive. I respect a lot out of Dogfish Head and Sam Adams. I've enjoyed many of their beers from both. So, hopefully for this, they continue to go forward and produce some great stuff, and continue even the stuff that they've had plenty of times in the past. So hopefully this keeps them as keep them going as strong as possible, from here on out in the future, and maybe they can do some crazy collaborations. Who knows? I mean, knowing Dogfish Head, they'll definitely have the the crazy ideas that they always have in the past. So maybe Sam Adams will definitely be on board for that. So.
When you walk into a chain grocery store and you see those yellow tags with programming and items that are on sale, the breweries are footing a lot of that cost, along with the retailer. And those are the types of things that, by being a larger company and having synergies, having the same truck be able to deliver both brands, those are the kind of things that will enable them to be competitive with the big behemoths. So that's where I think there's good things about it. My biggest fear would be that they lose their creativity, which got them to where they are today, especially with Dogfish Head. But hopefully the brewers won't be affected, and they'll still have free reign to stay creative and create some of the great oddball beers. What is their thing? I forget their odd-centric beers or something. I forget what their slogan is, but they do things a little different, and they kind of bend the rules of beer styles. And that's one thing I always loved about Dogfish Head, and hopefully will continue to love. Yeah. All right, well, moving beyond that, just one more quick reference, and by the time this episode airs, this year's Dark Lord Day at Three Floyds Brewing in Munster, Indiana, will be in the books, but with it's certainly a craft beer event worth mentioning, the iconic event. Epic shares the night before Dark Lord Day. I think when you pay for a ticket, you get the right to buy, I think you get 5 or 6 bombers of the Dark Lord Imperial Stout, which many people say is soy sauce until it ages. I had tasted it, and when it's really young, but it does mature out to be a nice Imperial Stout. But I think the big attraction for most people that attend Dark Lord Day, number one, is the shares, the epic shares outside. And there's always pictures of people that it's a marathon, not a sprint, and there's always a few knuckleheads that overdo it, and pictures of people passed out with bottles around them and things drawn on them and dancing and doing stupid stuff. And then the other thing is the coveted variants that they issue. I think everybody gets one variant, and it's random what you get. French Vanilla Militia is one that everybody talks about as being one of the coveted all-time favorites. What was the other one? Hanji, Marshmallow Hanji. It's one of the other coveted variants, and every year they come out with a few new ones. So it's always fun to attend and see what you get. And I know people come out of when they leave the brewery, there are people there with wads of cash trying to buy these variants because there's people that want to sell them on the secondary market. And I know there are people that actually sell their variant to pay for their entire trip to Munster, which isn't really a bad strategy because, at the end of the day, it's a bottle of beer. So we would be remiss as craft beer experts not to, or aficionados, maybe not experts, not to mention the coveted, the infamous Dark Lord Day. Always, there will always be stories from every year, and there was a story last year. Do some research, look up on Facebook groups, you'll see them. But I don't know, it's an event that I've never attended. I kind of heard enough stories to know that maybe it's probably an event I should probably avoid, being a family man with children and everything. But for those that get to go, it's a real treat, and there are epic shares in the line before it opens, and in the hotels the night before and the night after. And I saw a great meme the other day about somebody clean cut, looking really good after a shower and all spruced up, and then the next day they look like garbage because that's what Dark Lord Day does to you. But so that's about the extent of my knowledge, my experience with friends that have gone to Dark Lord Day. Anybody else have any comments on Dark Lord Day?
Inexperienced, so I have nothing.
It's an event I've chosen to stay away from. I think there's, but for those that go, great times and great beers to be drank, and certainly accolades to Three Floyds, one of the great breweries, of course known for Zombie Dust, their pale ale, and then on the other spectrum of things, Behemoth, their barley wine. They do some great things. It's a great brewery. So I just wanted to mention that. That being said, let's go back to Lawnmower Beers. Hopefully those that go to Dark Lord Day will be smart enough to have a few Lawnmower Beers and not get mowed over, pun intended, early in the line share.
ChristopherMedia.net. Everyone shouts about how fast their broadband is.
We're fast, mega fast, stupid fast, almost too fast.
But what do they say about reliability? Well, Dublin, with Virgin Media, you get both. Ireland's fastest broadband network and 99.9% network reliability. Reliability at speed. See virginmedia.ie.
Terms and conditions apply. Ireland's fastest broadband network as awarded by Ookla. Network reliability. See virginmedia.ie/proof.
Super Value online shopping delivers convenience. And now with €15 off your first online shop over €75, we deliver value too. Or with our free click and collect service, you can pick it up in store, packed and ready to go. Shop online now at supervalue.ie. It's got to be Super Value.
ChristopherMedia.net.
But we're going to go back to Los Angeles for round two for at least three of us. So Steve, take it away.
All right. My second beer is from San Fernando Brewing Company, which is from San Fernando, California, out in the valley. It's their Grapefruits of Wrath. It's a IPA. It's a 7.7 ABV. It's described as a strong IPA that has citrus and floral hops to complement the flavors of grapefruit that is added post-fermentation. A unique, refreshing beer, dry hopped with Belma hop. Poured it out, and it's on the darker side, so typical your IPA. Just smelling it, the grapefruit just overpowers it. It's that's mostly what you get from the initial smell. Drinking it's like drinking a nice grapefruit with some alcohol in it. Very smooth. Like I said, for an IPA, you don't get the typical hop taste that you get from it. This is really this is just mostly just grapefruit. They do a good job in adding it, and you get a lot of that that'd be a good beer to add some in the morning. Maybe pour it over some ice and have a little different alcohol to it. Maybe add some vodka to it or something like that. That'd be a great little pairing because it has that much grapefruit flavor to it. It's really good.
Sounds delicious.
I'm glad it comes in this nice big bottle. Comes in a pint. So
nice.
That's an easy drinker right there.
Yes. So not only on a hot summer day, but you can have it all day long and enjoy it. So very good beer. Like I said, the taste of it's really, really smooth all the way through. The aftertaste on it, doesn't leave any of that really hoppiness that people who don't like IPAs would put their nose up to. I think this is something that most people can drink and enjoy.
Amen.
Sounds refreshing.
Yes, refreshing.
Well, before I move into my beer, when you did hit the nail on the head when you said something about you can drink it all day, kind of want to at least mention All Day IPA from Founders as a beer that probably should have been on this episode. I know that we've done many references over the years, over our almost 140 episodes with Founders, but All Day IPA is their biggest seller, and it's I think it's 4.7%, and you can now get it in the 19.2 ounce stovepipe cans. I actually saw a single at my store today, but that being said, just wanted to give a shout out. That's one of the great high flavor and low ABV beers. So I'm sure if Uncle Pete was on the show, he might have wanted to review that. But so just wanted to mention that. So I'm going to go to a beer that is not craft, but it is an old Lawnmower Beer favorite of mine, and it's a Mexican beer called Carta Blanca. It's made in Mexico. It's 4.5%, readily available south of the border and in most southern states, it's sure. It's basically your typical Mexican lager, nothing fancy about it. But when I worked for Heineken USA and we sold their Mexican portfolio, which consisted of Tecate, Dos Equis, Bohemia, Carta Blanca, what was the other one? I think there was another beer that escapes me. But anyway, this is one of the off-the-wall brands that not much marketing money put into it. However, when I went to Mexico to visit the brewery, we attended a soccer game, and the sponsor of the local soccer team was Carta Blanca, and it was served throughout the arena. And that day, I grew to love this beer. So I just poured a can, a nice cold can, and as you can see, it's a straw yellow. This is like the lightest beer probably that we've seen on the show. Just a typical straw yellow. Looks kind of probably like a Bud Light or a Miller Lite, but it's not a light beer, but it's let's see what it says here. Carta Blanca means, I think, white charred. Not a whole lot. I'm not going to do any research on it. It's just a solid drinking Mexican beer. I have seen it served with a lime, and I have enjoyed it with a lime, but tonight I'm just drinking the beer because I want to taste it as it is. So very, very low profile on the aroma. I don't think there's much IBUs in this. It's not a hoppy beer. It's more malty than hoppy. So let's take a sip. I can't explain what it is about this, but it's worlds better in my opinion than a Budweiser. It's got that nice malt backbone and just enough hops to balance it. It's just a crushable, easy drinking lager. Not as flavorful as any of the beers we've had on the show. It's not a craft beer, so I don't expect people to be running out and buying it but it's a personal favorite of mine, and on a hot day, a cold one of these, you can't beat it. And one more quick Carta Blanca story. One of my favorite bars in Las Vegas when I worked at the market there was the Double Down Saloon, which is a dive bar, famous dive bar, located not too far from the airport, a punk rock bar. It's like stuff written all over the walls, and kind of an iconic place that the dive bar of Vegas. Well, when I was working for the company, I quickly found out that they don't respond to sales calls or marketing. They do whatever the hell they want. And when I went in there for my job, I would just basically introduce myself and got to go there on a regular basis, got to know the manager really well. And they always had Carta Blanca. And I said, why Carta Blanca? I said, I got salespeople coming in. How about Dos Equis, Tecate? They're like, no, we do our own thing here. And this is my favorite Mexican beer I've ever tried, and we're always going to have it here. And so, rather than fight the man, I just said, okay, that's good. And every time I went there, I would get that, and I would get a vodka or a bacon martini, which was a rail vodka with 3 pieces of bacon soaked in for, I think, 24 hours, and then they would serve it. So it sounds disgusting, but it was one of those things that made the double down. So I would go in, and as soon as the manager, I got to know him really well, and I said, I want to be the guy that walks in and you immediately pour me a bacon martini and a Carta Blanca. And he goes, you know what? I'll do that every time I see you walk in, and I'll enjoy a Carta Blanca with you. And they did serve it with a lime there. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Always a soft spot in my heart for this brand. It's probably never going to be another opportunity to review it on Beer Nuts, so this is its 5 seconds of fame. So, hey, when you're looking for a Mexican lager, and if you see this on the shelf, try it. You might just like it better than a Corona or a Tecate or one of the big name. Certainly better than Dos Equis, in my opinion. So there we have it, Carta Blanca. Hecho en Mexico. So cheers, everybody. That's my old school lawnmower beer.
Good stuff.
Although I did not have a lawn in Las Vegas, I just had rocks, which was a lot easier to mow rocks than it was to mow grass.
Hopefully you weren't mowing rocks. Jeez,
no mowing necessary.
Yeah.
So Chris does not have a second beer, so I think we're going to go to the grand finale. Chris, Greg, you get to do the grand finale tonight on the Lawnmower Beers.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So also picked up at Merchant's Fine Wine here in Dearborn. This is from Oddside Ales out of Grand Haven, Michigan. This is their Citra Radler. This is their Citra Pale Ale blended with grapefruit soda, 12-ounce can. I mean, beautifully wrapped can art here. It looks like for those that can see it here, looks like a bunch of the grapefruit and citrus, peel slices and stuff like that. Gorgeous can. According to Untapped, it's a 3.8% ABV beer. So I have not tried this at all. So I'm going to track this first time. Oh, there you hear. Hopefully you heard the can pop. So we're going to pour it in the glass. Ooh. So it comes in a hazy yellowish orange color here. Compact with a little couple rocky bubbles here mixed in there on the head. You can definitely see it through it. I can see my finger ring back and forth up in the glass here that I'm pouring into. Wow. First smell into it, it is very, very, very citrusy. A lot of that, it's lemon, it's orange, it's grapefruit. God, that is delicious. My goodness. Oh, that is gorgeous. I mean, it just smells like a grapefruit orange soda. I mean, that's the best I can describe it as. So, first taste. Cheers, guys. Oh my God. That is super refreshing. Very sweet. Has a nice tartness to it. It's not sour. It's not offensive or anything. This is perfect. It's for like 75, 80 degree days, sunny days after what we're just trying to describe here. After mowing the lawn or riding a lawnmower. Just uber refreshing. I mean, this is great. I mean, I kind of wish I'd picked up more than just one can of this. I definitely might be going back for it to pick up more. But I mean, this is my goodness. I mean, this is the ultimate, in my mind, lawnmower beer right here. And I hope that, more people would pick up on this kind of idea of a lawnmower beer. I mean, this is great. So, not much more I can say about it. I'm showing it here in the video for everybody to see, for us here. But kudos to Outside Ales. I mean, they totally nailed it here. I definitely will be seeking out more of this. And what better way to finish up the episode than a super delicious beer like this one, Citra Radler. So cheers. Thanks, Outside.
Well, Greg, I can just tell by looking at the look on your face when you took the first sip of that, he's not just fluffing it up for the brewery's sake. He's really enjoying this one.
This is really good. Yep.
What's the ABV on that?
It's only 3.8%. So, I mean, this is super, super crushable.
So it's just basically fruit juice with a little alcohol in it, very much.
I mean, with a grapefruit soda, that's basically it. So, yeah, this is killer.
Well, John, JR, you only have a little bit window to drink that, because if it's only good for 70 to 80 degrees, it's going to that's you better hurry up and jump on that.
Oh, I'll tell you what, even at 90 to 100, even for Arizona, this might be all right. But for us in Michigan,
we're already there.
We only average 70, 80 around here around the summertime, or 80 to 90. But this is it right here. So,
well, as I said, we hit 90 today, but it's been pretty good, mostly in the 70s and 80s. But
it's a dry heat, though.
It's a dry heat. Amen. All right. Well, that was a perfect beer to end with. So we've got a lot of these beers. They're crushable. They're flavorful. We had a Mexican beer. We had a lot of good. Steve had an IPA. That grapefruit IPA sounded really good. Good stuff there. And Christopher, thanks for motivating us to do this episode. I know a lot of us beer nuts like the stronger stuff, but when you have a full day planned, and you're out mowing the lawn, you need something a little bit lighter. And the other advice when you're in the hot weather is always stay hydrated. Drink some water in between your beers, especially when you go to a summer beer festival. Stay hydrated. You'll have a much greater time and feel better and healthier. So that about does it for this episode of Beer Nuts. We're going to have a week off for Memorial Day, so everybody enjoy your holiday. Hopefully you all drink some good beers, and I challenge you all, because when we come back from Memorial Day, we're going to go a random mixed nuts episode. We haven't done one of those in a while. That's just where everybody picks whatever the heck they want. So I, for one, am challenging to listeners, send a podcast to either at Arizona Beer Guy or at Beer Nuts Podcast with hashtag mixed nuts, and any beer that, if you send me a suggestion for a beer, as long as I can obtain it in Southern Arizona, I'll review it for you. So there's my challenge. The first listener to send me that request, you have my beer for the next episode. Yep. So I'm sure the other beer nuts will gladly fill in if there's more than one. So,
for sure. And it's at Arizona Beer Guy, and then at Beer Nuts Podcast on Twitter.
And you can actually even send it to at Michigan Beer Guy, because I'm still controlling that until Uncle Pete takes it over. But reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. We love feedback. We'd love to review a beer that you enjoy in your neck of the woods, and we'll even mention you on here. And someday we might even go back to a win this glass promotion.
Whoa.
Someday.
I need a new glass, so maybe I can win that, huh?
Right.
Heck, I've needed a new glass for like 2 years, so
Make it happen.
Sounds like a competition. All right.
Come on, Chris, we can collaborate on this. We have a week off.
That's true. We did. Yes, we will get this done.
You have nothing else on your plate, right?
Yeah.
How many other podcasts?
Yeah.
Plus travel.
Job, wife.
But remember, too, you can hit us up at Beer Nuts Podcast on Instagram, too, if you'd like to show us a picture of the beer that you would like us to review.
I have actually been a little bit more active on there, and I'll be posting tonight's beer on Instagram shortly. So by the time this episode airs, See pictures of my 2 beers anyway.
And 2, if you want to use the old electronic email, beernutspodcast@christophermedia.net as well.
All right, everybody. Well, great episode. Enjoy your holiday weekend next week, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with a Mixed Nuts episode of Beer Nuts. So for now, as they say in old Mexico City, AML.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, everyone! Vinny the Frog here down at Aquazone in the Sport Ireland campus in Blanchardstown. Come and enjoy tropical wild water fun. Aquazone is open daily this summer, just minutes from Junction 6 on the M50. Book now at aquazone.ie.
Be confident in the next car you buy. At Dundeal, you can find cars from over 1,000 trusted dealerships nationwide. Now you can search for cars with warranties and monthly finance options to meet your budget. Dundeal, Ireland's largest car showroom in the palm of your hand.
ChristopherMedia.net. If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
New Extra Charge Hot and Iced Coffee from Dunkin' is made with 20% extra caffeine from green coffee extract, because we could all use a little extra this year. Whether that's an extra boost, some extra boldness, or the drive to go the extra mile, we're extra ready for whatever comes our way, and extra excited to take it on. Let's get it done with a medium extra charged coffee from Dunkin' for $2 with 20% more caffeine. And pair it with snackable stuffed bagel minis for an added all-day boost. Order ahead on the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber,
poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber, signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Shop safe with PayPal.